postpone the elections for October. But the government says no. We have to hold elections on 24th of July. I don't think that we can establish democracy after 4 or 6 months. It's a long process. And I think establishing democracy in a country that has never witnessed democracy is something very, very difficult. And we need experts from Europe, from United States, and especially from those countries like Serbia, Romania, and Georgia, who witnessed revolutions and their revolution were successful in establishing democracies. And we are working with the International Republican Institute in Tunisia. Our organization is working with this institute, and we have many experiences from Serbia, from Georgia, from Romania, and that helped us know what is the
from Spain.
From Spain also, yeah. Mm-hmm. And this helped us make a general perspective on how to establish democracy. And I think that this will make a long time.
Let me go to Ahmed. Maybe combine Dean Atanasio's question, which was, have you won the battle but lost the war? Have you kind of lost the initiative? And it really does may relate anyway, to the building of institutions. And that was one of the things that Mubarak did a pretty good job of, which was repressing the development of civil society in Egypt.
Absolutely. Well, just to answer this question, I have to get back to a point that I was trying to clarify. This was a leaderless revolution. It was just a people's revolution. Okay, we made the spark, but everything else, all the fuel was all those people that have been sacrificing their lives boldly in front of automatic weapons, in front of snipers. I received this rubber bullet, as my colleague Majid had told you, and it knocked me down, but just a couple of meters away, some guy had his head blown up, and another came in the middle of all the firing. The bullets were hitting targets around me and pulled me out of the range of fire and saved my life, and I never even was able to thank him. So this was a people's revolution. Okay, what happens when you don't have a leadership of a revolution? What happens is that some people try to assume this rule. This is not something that everybody accepts so easily, and it is something that results to fracturism and the disputes between those that are trying to take this rule. And this is something that has been promoted, encouraged, and probably even planned by certain powers that are trying to conspire against the revolution and trying to make it fail. But are they going to succeed? I don't think so. The people have gone out. The people have demanded their demands. And they come out again. And each time the people come out and demand those demands, the SCAF, the Supreme Council of Military Force, they have to bring another lamb for the slaughter. So they put Mubarak for trial, they put his children for trial, and so on and so forth, trying to satisfy the people and make them calm down, and so that they don't come out again. We are still planning a big one next Friday, the 27th. We call it even the second revolution. I would say that myself, among others, we are working to try to create grassroots leaderships by making people more organized, making people elect their own representatives in different places, and so that they can still fight this battle and continue on the path. And it's a game here. Like, we do a move, they do, the military and the remnants of the old regime, they do their move, and there is a competition. They are trying their best, and we are trying our best. And I believe the power of the people would prevail.
Patience is important here.
Yeah.
And I think President Bush has said that. We're not going to, it took us a long time, and this is not going to happen overnight. Exactly. Question, Jeff Klein's question about traditional media. Does anyone want to answer that? I know Jeff himself has been involved in radio for many years. Yes.
In fact, one of the things that it really helped us in Syria was the ability to finally be able to broadcast through a satellite network our sort of own programs that spoke about the political situation in Syria, spoke about the living realities in Syria. One thing I did a TV program called First Step, and which was based on YouTube messages, basically, and that were smuggled from out of the country. And we use them as a focus of discussions on the realities in Syria, the social realities, the living conditions. And it's really very sort of wonderful to see that the YouTube fever took over after that. And a lot of people resorted to YouTube and tried to sort of create discussions also by using that forum. So
I like the fact that we've reached the age when people can consider YouTube traditional media. It is 6 years old now.
But in a sense, we got the information through YouTube, but we created a TV program that we broadcasted via satellite. So it is a marriage of traditional media and the new media, or semi-new media, as the case in YouTube might be. And we've managed to actually stir a debate, a new debate, and create sort of a new sense of awareness. And I think what we're really seeing right now in the streets in Syria is a movement that was in many parts inspired by this marriage between new technology and old technology, new media and old media. And this is where basically that kind of cooperation is going to pave the way, I think, for the continuing shaping of the awareness of the Syrian people and the peoples in the region for the foreseeable future.
And I want to go to Mohsen's question last, which was about tactics, specifically in Syria, changing from street protests to what he calls non-cooperation, that is to say strikes or not paying your electric bill, that kind of thing. And, you know, in some ways, Egypt and Tunisia happened so quickly. A massing of people, really, quite remarkable and very inspirational. But in Iran and in Syria and in other countries, I think we can expect, and we've seen this historically, it doesn't necessarily happen that quickly. And what about shifting tactics and not simply bringing people out and showing up and having the troops shoot at you and really destroy a movement, or certainly set it back, as has happened in Iran?
And indeed, this is really what we really need to consider at this stage, which is that this is now that this is the 10th week of the revolution. And it's very clear, and I think people now realize that this is going to be a longer-term struggle than they thought. This is not going to be a Tunisian scenario where in 1 month you kick the leader out and that's it, and you begin a new process, and it's definitely not going to be the Egyptian scenario. This is going to be a prolonged scenario of confrontation with the authorities and trying to create an alternative, not only really to the regime, but in a sense, I think the revolutionaries are creating an alternative to the traditional oppositional movements as well, who haven't really played a major role so far in shaping the development on the streets. So in order to be able to do that, you really need to change tactics, and you really need to mix tactics in your confrontation with the authorities. We tried strikes, and the call for strikes were obeyed in most parts of Syria except 2 places, Damascus and Aleppo, with the 2 major centers, the capital of Syria and the economic capital in northern Syria. And moving the inability to basically bring these 2 important cities to the fold is problematic for us. We understand why. There is a question of logistics really here at stake. I mean, in Damascus, people are already trying to move, but the security presence is so heavy and heavy-handed that whenever we field any small demonstrations, before they even coalesce in a central location, they come under attack, they come under fire, they come under tear gas attack, and hundreds get arrested. So this is a problem in Damascus. In Aleppo, there is also the problem of semi-economic prosperity. This is a city that's very close to Turkey, and the economic relationship with Turkey have made sure that people are a bit too lax. They don't really see the point of rebelling. Their livelihood is not as affected as the livelihood of many other Syrians. So trying to therefore peddle a different way, which is strikes, I think will be an interesting
Talk to Mohsen
thing. And hopefully we will be
afterwards.
able to do it. I mean, it's going to take brainstorming. Let's talk about that indeed.
Good.
I need ideas.
And we're out of time, but Khadija, you'd like to give Ammar and other Syrians any piece of advice on why Tunisia succeeded or has succeeded so far, and maybe that might help them?
Oh. This may be difficult, but we succeeded, I think, because we were able to to take the dictator by surprise. He was not expecting what happened. But if I take Gaddafi, Gaddafi had the time to get ready to resist. If you remember, he immediately after Ben Ali left, he said, oh, he shouldn't have left. He should have stayed for life. You should have kept him president for life. In fact, we are glad the revolution came quickly over there because he would have attacked us. We are positive about that. Mm-hmm. He is a danger for our democracy.
You're talking about Gaddafi?
Gaddafi, yes,
right.
Yes.
Well, it's too late to surprise Assad.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that unfolds. We're gonna take a break. The third panel, you know who you are. You need to be mic'd in the back. We're going to come back. Mrs. Bush is going to speak, and we're going to have our last panel. Thank you very much, panel.
Thank you.